Hi guys, my name is Dr. Ria and this video is about how to plan your studies and make a timetable for yourself effectively. So I really hope this helps you, and if you still have any doubts, please feel free to ask me on my Telegram group or in the comment section below. Hi guys, so the first thing I want you guys to do is take a printout of a calendar of the entire year and paste it on your wall. So just so that we have a bird's eye view of what our upcoming months are gonna be like, when is our target, and all of that. And what I want you guys to mark on this is, first thing I want you guys to encircle is the date of the exam you are targeting first, or just like the approximate date. So if I assume that you guys are targeting the November INICET, let's just circle that date in red so that it's always in front of our eyes. And we are going to mark the last 10 days for revision. As we know, this last 10 days is very crucial. I'm not including the 4th. Assuming your exam is on the 5th, I'm going to leave 4th just empty for you guys to kind of calm your nerves. So we won't plan anything on the 4th, but before that 10 days is a crucial last 10-day revision. So we won't encroach upon this time. We're just gonna take it out from the start. Now let's see where we are right now. We are in June, and I hope you guys have started your studying, or at least you are planning to start now. So first, have an idea of when are you going to finish your first reading. So as I had recommended, if you are targeting November INICET, you should finish your first read in 100 days, because as you can see, we don't have much time to take our sweet time and really go slow. So if we start 100 days from this month itself also, ideally you should be finishing your syllabus around the first week of September. And if you have started preparing from May itself or even before that, then you can even finish by the end of August. So just give yourself not more than 100 days, because we have to revise also. So after we have marked out our first revision, you will see that you have approximately 45 days after your first read and before the beginning of your last 10-day revision. So either you can take these roughly 45 days for one thorough revision, or you can divide this time into 30 days and 15 days, in which 30 days you have to do one full revision, and in 15 days you can do this revision of the important topics. So this is what I went for, was a 30 and 15 days revision after my first read, but it is up to you, whatever you are comfortable with, but obviously the more revisions the better. So like I said, first mark out your goal on the calendar, then take out the last 10 days for your revision, then mark out how long you are going to finish your first read in, and then divide the remaining time for revisions. Right, so this calendar is going to go up on our wall just so that it's always in front of our eyes, that you have how many months you have remaining for the exam, which month is currently going on, how much time is left. It's always nice to have it in front of you. Now in that same calendar, or you can take a different calendar if you want, now we are going to zoom in into our first read. For example, say our first read is going to be June, July, August, and half of September. So if that is our first read, we have to divide how many subjects and which subjects we are going to do in each month. Now you might not follow it exactly, but just to have a rough idea of at least how many subjects you have to finish each month, so that your syllabus is complete on time. Right, I guess that would be roughly around 4 to 5 subjects per month. You can take a mixture of 2 long subjects and 2 short subjects, because finishing 4 long subjects will become very hectic. So just mix and match here and there according to your comfort and your liking, or according to your T&D schedule, which is what I did. you have to do tweak around the subjects, but you have to finish the syllabus by September. Then I know it's not possible to plan exactly which days you're planning to do for which subject, but yes, you need to have a rough estimate of which all subjects you plan to finish this month at least, and how you plan to divide your subjects, like which short subjects you want to do with which long subjects. Just try to make a rough idea and divide those subjects in each month. All right, so this is what is going on to your onto your schedule for the entire month. Sorry. Right, so we're gonna have, it's going to include all of this: date of the exam, last 10-day revision, just mark out your first reading, and roughly your revisions you can plan later. Just make sure that you are leaving enough time for the revisions, but exactly planning your revision, like which subject, how many days, can be dealt with later after your first reading as well. Now you are gonna take, this is what is very important, either you take a printout of the calendar of the current month or you make it yourself. I used to just draw a rough calendar myself on a paper like I showed you in the last video, or you can take a printout if you want to be more neat. But you need to have these boxes of whichever month is going on in front of you, and you have to plan each day of at least the current month which is going on, if not for the future months if it's not possible. So if this is the current month of June, for example, and so the first thing you want to do is, again, you're going to take out 2 Sundays for GT, right? Ideally 2 GTs, or if you are just starting out with your preparation and you have not completed a bulk of your subjects, at least 1 GT this month, but increase the frequency of the GTs to twice a month later on. So you're gonna take out 1 or 2 Sundays for the GTs, and you're gonna block the entire day for that, because it's going to take time. You'll be very exhausted after giving a GT. You might not be able to study much, so it's better to just take out an entire day. And you are going to take out 2 buffer days also every month. It can be any day, it can be the last 2 days of the month, or you can just intersperse them inside the same month, but 2 buffer days. And you are going to need those buffer days no matter how much you plan or how much you think you will finish your syllabus. You're going to need those 2 buffer days. Next is the actual planning of the subject. So this is just an example. For example, if you plan to do first 3 days, say dermat, you're going to write it there and then across those dates, dermat. Then say 1, 2, 3, for these 5 days you plan to do biochemistry, you're gonna write it there, biochem. Now say you have this week coming up, you plan to do, let's say, anat, you're gonna write down anat. And maybe here you want to do another short subject, like medium subject like physio, and just so on and so forth. You have to divide. Maybe you're gonna take FMT here. Just a brief example. Whatever subjects you plan to do that month, you have to mark them out in the calendar month with your dates. And in that also, as I said, you leave out 2 days for GTs, at least 2 or 1, and 2 buffer days. Those 2 buffer days are going to be used to finish the syllabus that you weren't able to complete in your allocated time. And if you worked hard and you finished your syllabus, you can take that as a rest day, or you might need that day for anything. So it's always good to have a buffer, and if you don't end up using those buffer days, it's going to come handy in revision later on. But always give yourself a few days buffer, just to kind of give yourself a peace of mind. It's always good. Now the next thing I want to talk about is how you're going to plan what to study each day in every subject. So for example, I'm going to take up biochemistry. In biochemistry, let's assume you are doing it from marrow, just for an example, and say there are some X. You have to first count. You have to take a calculator and count exactly how many minutes of videos are there in that faculty. right? And it say it comes out to be X minutes. Make sure you take you choose a source which is not too long also. So let's say X minutes ka videos are there. Now since we have given biochemistry 5 days, divide X by 5 and you get Y minutes. I'm sorry for so much math. So Y minutes ka videos you have to see every single day, right? Now in that Y minutes also you have to divide how you plan to divide it every day. So for that you have a daily timetable. This is what most of you guys came to watch this video for, was how to plan your every day. But in order to reach this step you had to do a lot of planning beforehand, right? Like what we talked about. So that planning is going to really help you narrow down further planning. And now you have reached your daily timetable. So let's say it is your 5th of June and today is the day of beginning biochemistry. You have calculated how many minutes or how many hours of videos you have to watch today. Now you have to divide them into time slots throughout the day as well. This is just an example. For example, morning 9 to 12, you plan to do biochemistry videos number 1, 2, 3 and 4. Also, when you are calculating your time, make sure that you're watching those videos at 1.5x. So your time will become divided by 1.5. For example, if your videos are approximately 8 hours long, they're gonna end up taking only around like 5 to 6 hours if you watch it at 1.5x. And that is the only way you're gonna finish your syllabus, is divided by 1.5x. So in this 3 hours ka slot, make sure you are putting 2.5 hours ka videos only, because at half an hour you will take a bit half an hour extra. You might stop to understand the concept or something, you might get interrupted in between. It's not always a very smooth sail. So you have to divide that time slot with that many hours ka video approximately. After you reduce it to 1.5x. So this is just an example. Though it's very difficult to watch more than 2 to 3 hours of videos at one chunk, because your mind gets fatigued. So make sure to take frequent breaks. After 2 to 3 hours, take like a half an hour break. I always used to keep half an hour ka buffer between my targets, because sometimes that half an hour would end up being used to finish my goal, the previous time slot ka goal, or I might need it to take a rest, a short nap, whatever you do. Then maybe the next half an hour you can choose to do something else like MCQs. You can do PYQs of biochemistry or some other subject, or maybe if you had given a GT that previous weekend, every day you are reviewing the questions you got wrong, you can do that just for a change of what you are studying. If you watch some videos, go to solve some previous year questions for like an hour. By this time you're gonna be hungry and you're gonna be tired. Take a lunch break. I used to take at least like 1 to 1.5 hour lunch breaks, and it's okay to take a bit longer breaks, because you are investing that time to regain energy and not get fatigued. So please, I would recommend you take at least a 20 minutes ka nap. It's really good. Don't sleep for hours and hours, just take a light nap. It's gonna refresh your mind. You can maybe watch half an hour of your favorite show, watch some TV. It's okay, it's completely okay. But yes, when your time is up, you have to bounce back, right? This cannot extend till 4 or 5. You have to be strict with yourself to stay on track. Then say from 3 to 4, if you're bored of biochemistry, you can maybe study some pharmac. Maybe you can choose to do, for example, half of any unit of pharmac, like general pharmac or CVS or whatever. Then from 4 to 6, again you're back to your biochemistry, because you have to finish that day ka target of the videos. Otherwise you won't finish biochemistry in 5 days. So again, maybe videos 5, 6 and 7, you have to count the number of minutes in each video and make sure you're able to finish it in those 2 hours. Take a 20-minute break. It's okay. Have some coffee, have some tea, take some fresh air, then get back. 1.5 hour again videos. After some time at night, again take a nice dinner break. Have a light dinner. I would say You can go for a walk, take a 20-minute, half an hour walk. It's going to be very beneficial. Then, but again, you have to bounce back on time. At night, I think most of us might feel fatigued and you don't feel like studying anything else. So this is your miscellaneous time. Either if you've not finished the target of the day, finish that. You can do discussion with one partner. Ideally, you should have not more than one partner to discuss with, because more than two is a crowd and you might end up wasting more time. So have a group discussion with one friend for maybe half an hour to 1 hour, or you can watch Zainab ma'am's MERS or MKTs at night to keep things interesting, or again you can just solve some MCQs. So guys, this was just an example of a timetable. This is not exactly how you need to follow. Some people are early morning risers. They might begin their day at 6 or 7. Some might sleep in the morning 6 or 7 and they might study all night. I know there are all kinds of people, but whatever you do, make targets for yourself, make a timetable for yourself. It's the only way you're gonna stay on track. So I hope you guys understood this strategy. If I was just to summarize it again. So the first thing we did was we took a printout of the calendar of the entire year, and we have marked the main important dates of the exam we're going to give, of how many days to leave for your last 10 days revision, and how much time we have to give for our first read and our first and second revisions. Then we also divided approximately which subjects we have to do each month in our first reading. Just an overview, just like a broadly divided. You might end up changing up a few subjects here and there according to your liking, that's fine. But at least the month which you are currently in, you have to plan that perfectly. So plan each day how many days you're going to give for each subject. Keep 2 buffer days because you might need them to finish your syllabus. Keep 1 or 2 days out for GTs. You can do the GT and review it entirely in one day, or if you have say like 60 or 70 questions wrong, you can divide it into you can review them throughout the week. I used to do that initially when I used to get more number of questions wrong. I used to divide like 10 to 15 questions every day for revision of the GT. So whatever works for you, but do keep out these 2 buffer days and 2 days for GTs. Then whichever subject you are studying at that moment, for example biochemistry, calculate how many minutes of videos are there in your app, divide it into how many days you're going to take to finish that subject, then again divide it into 1.5x because you're going to watch it fast. So that will give you how many hours you have then and how many hours you have to watch every day. Now divide that time into your daily timetable for the day. How are you planning to finish those, say 7 to 8 hours of videos in one day? Maybe 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening, and 2 hours at night, or whatever according to your timetable. But do make a timetable, guys. It's very important, and make sure to keep other things in between to break the monotony, like MCQs, GT revisions, maybe 1 or 2 hours of some other subject like Pharmac, because a lot of us struggle with Pharmac. So it's a good idea to revise that every day. Or you can watch MERS, MKTs, have a group discussion with a friend, just to keep things interesting. But your primary goal should be to finish the target of the subject which you are studying that day. So that was it, guys. I hope this helped you. So I would say planning comes to me naturally. I love making timetables because it really eases the anxiety I have. I know that this is how I have to finish, this is how I have to study, and I will finish my target if I just follow my timetable. So plan your studies nicely. Even if you're not a planner, or you don't like making timetables, you have to make one for this exam. It requires a lot of planning. So please write a thumbs up in the comment section after you take a printout of this timetable and one of this month and you paste it on your wall. Either you can take a picture of it and send me on my Telegram group, or just write a thumbs up in the comment section to let me know that you have done it, and it's going to help you out a lot.